Go through that museum on Ellis Island and look at the pictures of all those people who are hanging up there from every part of the world, many of them carrying all their earthly belongings in their two hands, not knowing what this country held for them. Look at the determination in their eyes. People who work not 5 days a week, but 6 or 7 days a week. Not 8 hours a day, but 10, 12, 16 hours a day. No such thing as a minimum wage. They work not for themselves, but for their sons and their daughters, and their grandsons and their granddaughters, that they might have an opportunity in this land. That's what America is about. A land of dreams and opportunity. There were other immigrants who came here in the bottom of slave ships, worked even longer, even harder for less. But they too had a dream that one day their sons, daughters, grandsons, granddaughters, great-grandsons, great-granddaughters might pursue prosperity and happiness in this land.
I'm starting to think Dr. Ben Carson done lost his damn mind. I mean, the funny thing about the speech is, had he not used slave ships and immigrants as a point of reference, there would have been no issue with his speech. But because he chose that as his point of reference, I have to now verbally crucify you. You have the audacity, temerity, unmitigated gall to stand over here on national news media with supreme confidence and say there were immigrants in the bottom of slave ships who came to America and had an American dream for their children and their grandchildren. Really? The disrespect, humiliation, degradation, indignation, ignominy. There's so many different words I can use targeted towards you. Why would you stand over here and say this? Now, like I said before, had he not used that as his point of reference, there's probably no issue with his speech, at least regarding the idea of the American dream and wanting to be part of the working class to, better your family and your generation of humans in your family tree. But just to stand there and listen to what he says, I think Ben Carson can't formulate words together. Like, he can't put his thoughts into a speech and, convey it and articulate it the way he wants it to go out, because immediately what he should do is come out and try to explain what he meant and first refute his statement regarding the immigrants, coming in the bottom of slave ships. However, the funny thing about it is, he's not completely wrong if you go statistically. If he were to say there were, let's say if you were to look at Ghana, where you had people who were voluntarily coming here. There were some who were voluntarily coming here. And ultimately you had the large number of those who were taken. I'm not saying that didn't happen. But if he went into statistics to back up his claim, but acknowledged the fact that a large proportion of them were taken, he can dodge all of this scrutiny. But because he said this and never noticed the error in his words, that's why he's, being dragged through the mud. I'm not understanding why he would think, especially given that he's probably written this speech out. I don't know why he decided, let me read it out, proofread it several times over and still go out and deliver this speech. Now, if he was just speaking out of the back of his mind, then that's just on him. He probably got to take the time to slow down his talking, although he already speaks like he's about 110 years old. But I just can't, in my right state of mind, figure out where in your mind would you make a transition like that. And then it wasn't as if this was the first point that he made. He took it from there were people who are already here working X amount of hours for X amount of years to provide for their family. And then to add on top of his point, he threw this point into there. It wasn't even warranted. You would have been perfectly fine had you just left it at the point that you made. But you just made it worse. I'm really starting to question where this man's intellect is, because I'm not one of those people who says, he must have been a terrible neurosurgeon because of his political views. I'm not one of those individuals. All right? Because you disagree with somebody's political view doesn't make that person just a terrible person. That's not the case. You can't just act like Dr. Ben Carson ain't one of the greatest doctors of all time because, oh, he's a Republican and he voted for Trump and he's in Trump's cabinet. Can't do that. I'm not denying the man's work at all. But as of late, I would say May of last year, he was looking like a very good candidate. And then he just took a spike going downward. Man just started sounding crazy. He don't know what's going on. I think the dementia is kicking in on him. He needs to do neurosurgery on his own head and find a new brain. Matter of fact, don't do that, because Rockefeller might just come in and take your brain. The man done had 7 different heart transplants. That's a different video. But get yourself to, what are you talking about, Ben? Come on now. You gotta be kidding me.